Hello, everyone. It's Dina here, and I am delighted to have with me Nadia Engelbrecht, who's going to tell us about Pinterest and using Pinterest as a strategy for marketing, especially for coaches, healers, our nonfiction authors, basically any spiritual entrepreneur um, out there and who is in my audience. So, Nadia, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Nadia, before we dive into the Pinterest strategy, tell us a bit about your background and what inspired you now to start working directly with coaches and content creators.
Sure. So I've spent over a decade, gosh, probably closer to 2 decades now, in advertising and digital design in some way, shape, way, or form. Mostly helping small to medium businesses connect smart strategy with meaningful storytelling and visuals. Most of this work's been done in agency settings, but now more recently, I'm moving into my own space and I'm shifting focus. So at this point, I'd really like to start bringing my experience directly to purpose-led coaches and content creators. I mean, I think there's no secret that the online marketing landscape is vast and can feel overwhelming to say the least. So my goal is really to help coaches leverage their ideas into marketable content that's backed by great strategy and then use Pinterest as an excellent vehicle to deliver on that.
Oh, great. I like the sound of that because I'm on a mission to reduce my marketing time and making it more efficient and simple. So tell me, why should coaches, and I'm just going to use the term coaches for entrepreneur, okay? Why should coaches consider Pinterest as part of their marketing strategy?
Great question. Pinterest is a powerful platform for coaches because it's not traditional social media, or should I say social media at all. It functions like a virtual search engine. So think of it as visual, not virtual, visual search engine. So think of visual Google, so to speak. That means that the content that's on Pinterest is discoverable for months or even years compared to platforms like Instagram or Facebook, where post visibility can disappear after 24 or 48 hours. You can't really compare that longevity. So for coaches, who are creating evergreen content like blog posts or a sales page that goes to a lead magnet or anything in that space, Pinterest creates a way for you to consistently drive traffic without constantly being on the platform.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So, how does Pinterest differ from other social media platforms in terms of user behavior and, content lifecycle?
Sure. So, unlike social platforms that prioritize real-time engagement and follower accounts. So, think about, you want to raise your followers because then you can, when you add more stories and you're adding stories every day, you're engaging with your users. You have to comment constantly, be on DMs constantly. It is definitely a good strategy if that's something you have time and availability for, but many of us don't. It's not our core business. So where Pinterest differs, is that its users are searching with intent. They are on the platform to find solutions. They are planners, not scrollers. They're not looking for entertainment or just to pass by an hour. So a well-optimized pin can continue sending traffic to your site for 6 to 12 months or even more. You actually hear a lot about people suddenly getting a lot of traction in month 13. Suddenly things suddenly click and they just get this huge spike in traffic. So this is especially helpful for coaches who want to create educational content because once you post a pin for that, you can publish that pin and then it sends traffic to your site over and over again, creating a really effortless ongoing lead generation tool.
Oh, I love that. And I love the thing about the behavior about users searching with intent. So
Yes.
you talk about educational content. Specifically, what content then performs the best on Pinterest?
Right. This question answers, or my answer to you will be for Pinterest, but also for any marketing content, really. Um, it's content that solves problems or answers questions. So often where we fall into a trap is we have a course that answers a big problem, right? Um, and then we start creating blog posts and videos and things of that nature to help with marketing that course. But we lose ideas, or we get a little bit lost in needing to up the volume all the time, and we create a lot of fluff. Every single piece of marketing content, so whether it's an Instagram post, let's just even go to that space, or it's a blog post, or whatever it is, must answer a specific question or solve a specific problem. Because let's face it, if you are searching for how to how to build a house, or let's take a recipe, for example, it's always a fun one. You search for a recipe, and when you click on the link, whether it be on Google or wherever it might be, or Pinterest, you go to that page and there is a life story about the person who has written this recipe. You have to muddle through hours of reading about why they chose this particular pumpkin spice, and all of that fluff. But really, what you want is the recipe. So the reason they do that is for SEO purposes, right? To create more words on the page so that you can rank, and that is important too. And it's important to weave your story into your content. But what all those recipes do correctly is that in the end they answer the question. They give you the recipe. And so in the same vein, if what doesn't matter what your niche is and what your bigger solve is, every single blog post, every single video must answer a question. It can be very specific, but it must answer a question. And if you can do that with every single piece, and every pin leads to a piece of content that answers a question, that solves a problem for that user and lets them pass by that first hurdle to maybe want to see what else you have on your website, whether it's more articles to find out more about you, or even see what you have on offer. But if you don't answer that very first question, they're probably just going to drop off.
Ah, I love that. And that is really giving me a great insight because, as we all have our stories, that inspire us as coaches and healers and authors. And it's important to always, because we love stories, don't we? People
We
love
do.
stories. We learn by stories. And of course, the first stop besides offers on a website is the amazing lead magnet that can be really a mystery sometimes. And I love that you say that to solve a problem. And I think that's very important to do that on Pinterest. How do we then use Pinterest? Or let me rather make a statement and see if you can correct me. So the whole thing is about for lead magnets there and generate traffic and leads is to actually answer the questions that our audience has in different ways uh, through that lead magnet and create
Correct.
pins. Is that right?
Yes, that is right. So whatever, or rather, let me say it this way. If you feel like there are, and we can do the research together, right? And I'll give you the feedback of what your particular niche might be about. But you want to find the question that really would just move the needle, that those 30 degrees, and just get them over that first hurdle. Help them to make a big jump, and they'll want to run the marathon with you. But So you want to rather focus on getting a very specific question with your lead magnet and get that done, or a first step in a larger process, something that just moves them forward.
Mm.
And then, yes, you will write that in different formats. And, a lot of that comes through with testing. You're going to see people are actually writing this question in this way. And then that's where then Pinterest presents my pins more specifically or more consistently, rather, should I say, when I do it like that. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Now, talking about that testing, what analytics or metrics should we actually track to measure our performance on Pinterest, our success?
Yeah, there is a lot to track. I mean, we can track basic just traffic to your website, the outbound clicks. We can even track saves, how many times people save your pins, which shows us that there's interest and value because people are collecting. But what we really want to focus on is conversions.
Mm.
Once somebody clicks through, do they take an action? They either sign up to an email, they make an inquiry, they buy a course, you make a sale. What is that conversion rate? We want to start seeing what is, what is your baseline right now? Is it every 100 click-throughs, I get one conversion? It's not a great ratio. So how do we get that closer to 90, every 90 clicks, and then every 80, and so on and so forth, until we get to a better ratio? Then we can, that's what we're looking for in the analytics. We want to see which pins are really doing all the work, right? Which are the ones that are carrying the load?
The 80-20 kind of thing.
Exactly, because those are the ones we want to replicate. We want to eliminate the ones that are just cluttering up and not really adding a lot of value, and learn from the data, the analytics, that tells us which ones are pushing traffic, but also pushing traffic and converting. And then we want to create more of those pins in the months to come.
It sounds like a lot of time. So how much time does it take to actually, master this and, the learning cycle of how much time do we have to spend on Pinterest?
That is the beauty of the platform of Pinterest. Once your system is in place, it's all about the system. And once it's in place, it doesn't require daily engagement like social media. You can batch content and use scheduling tools to have posts pin on autopilot throughout the day, throughout the weeks, throughout a month, and you don't even have to look at it again until you want to go and look at your analytics. So when I onboard a new client, I focus on strategy first, because if we get the strategy right in the beginning, it gives us a lot more freedom when it comes to the day-to-day of it, right? So we focus on strategy, your tone of voice, who you are, what you're about, and who you're talking to. And we create a content plan for the full year that aligns to your sales goals. What launches are you planning? Maybe when the book is going to come out and you want to align to that. And then once we've got that crystal clear plan, we use a combination of automations, and then we focus on writing blog posts and making videos that align to those sales goals, right? We build some momentum. And this is the brilliant plan, is that you write all of those brilliant blogs, and then I'll do the heavy lifting of all the marketing. So even though Pinterest really does give you the tools with scheduling and batching content to do a lot with minimal effort, I'll even take off the load of creating the content, and it'll be done for you.
Sounds marvelous. But something that came up for me now is most people don't know what they're going to do the whole year. It sounds, can it be done like for every 3 months, and then create that content and maybe take a check again? Because, sometimes, new programs come up and a new idea come up, and So often we don't know, about, writing a quick mini book or creating a new program. So what I'm actually asking is, you talk about content for a year. Is it possible to break it up into shorter periods?
Right, so it's a good question. Of course you can. Of course you can work in shorter time frames. I find that the longer you stick to a specific strategy and a specific plan, so showing some commitment to what you set forth, the better your results. It's clients who really decide that, look, if I look at my whole year, I want to achieve uh, the following when it comes to my course. I want to have 20 or 100 seats filled, right, for my course, however that works. I would like to sell so many copies of my book, or I would like to reach the number one bestseller status, as I know is one of the things you promote. So when I know that and I know when I want to do that. So if I want to say do 100, maybe 100 sales for my course this year, maybe I say, okay, I want to relaunch my course every quarter. So that means I want to sell 25 seats per quarter. And I know I'm going to do it at the end of each quarter. I'm going to have a launch. So if you know that already, it's just such a load off. I
Mm.
mean, think about the relaxedness of just knowing that that's your goal and then knowing that, okay, we have decided this already. So we've looked at the 3 months preceding that launch and decided on the content topics that will best support that launch.
Mm.
So it means it's going to be nurturing and answering questions for your potential ideal client throughout those 3 months, building some followers, building some traction, some traffic, gaining email subscribers, so that when you finally start announcing that, hey, the doors are opening up soon, the potential clients have already been nurtured throughout. And having those topics decided on before gives you freedom from your marketing. Now you can just go in, we know we'll have a schedule together. So, or we have a schedule together, the client and myself. So we know that, okay, by X date, I need to have these blog posts written, right? Because of course you will write them, or the videos made, or whatever format you take. And I need those delivered in my inbox because then I will start using them to generate the marketing content. So you then don't have to go and think about pie in the sky, what content I need to write now, or have any of that. You have those topics already. They're already the keywords are supplied to you, even an outline if you choose that option. And you just go in and write the content, easy breezy. You feel relaxed and in flow because you know it aligns to this.
Mm.
There are no questions in the
Mm.
back of your mind
Mm.
thinking, is this the right move? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You commit and you make it the right move. And then, should a wild card opportunity come up, we can always add that on top. We
Mm.
can layer an extra campaign. We can we can do all of that, but you
Oh,
got your baseline covered. You're
oh.
doing what's best for your business always. And then if something comes in and it's the right thing for you to do, it aligns with the rest of your plan, why not? Let's add it in.
I love that. I love the fact that we actually, um, and I know I'm one of the people who jump around a lot. So it's actually great to have to know what is my foundation
Exactly.
and to actually work towards that. But Nadia, I want to ask you something else. How does Pinterest, or is Pinterest still relevant in 2025? If you look at the trends of the TikTok videos and reels, how does Pinterest relate to that?
Sure. So it's definitely still relevant. Short form video is great for reach. Pinterest offers longevity, on the other hand. So actually, Pinterest does give you an opportunity to use video in pins. It can integrate pins there and I create idea pins, and that keeps up with the trend, right, of TikTok and Reels, etc. But its core value is still in driving traffic, long-term traffic, organic traffic to your website. So for coaches who are creating blogs, content, podcasts, courses, etc., Pinterest complements short form video by giving that content simply a longer shelf life
Mm.
and a much more search friendly platform.
I love that. And how big is Pinterest? I mean, can it serve all the people?
Yeah, no, it's always a good question because, it did come out sort of ahead of a lot of these other platforms. And so people are always wondering, is this still relevant? Is it still growing? And it is absolutely still growing. Currently, it has over 553 million monthly subscribers or active users, should I say, and it's growing.
Wow.
And that's the last time I checked. What's even more is that 90%, 96% of Pinterest searches are unbranded. This is a huge distinction. It means that small businesses or solo coaches can show up in front of potential clients without competing with major brands. This
Oh.
is unmatched on other platforms. And especially with organic reach, it's really difficult to find in other places.
Well, it's really good to hear that people are not just searching for home decor and recipes on Pinterest.
True. I must say, I do have my fair share of collection of home decor and recipes. It is good for that too.
And travel stuff. I know, I'm wonderful for those. So, how does Pinterest influence buying behavior compared to other platforms?
Sure, I will answer that. It is very influential, but let me first just answer your first question about whether people are using it for more than home decor, etc. And the answer is 100%. Well, actually 85%, because 85% of users say that they go to Pinterest first. It's their first stop when they start a new project or when they're planning a business, revamping a routine, looking for coaching support. So
Wow.
for coaches, this means that your ideal client is currently on Pinterest, actively seeking for the solutions that you provide. So it doesn't matter what you're offering, if people are searching for it and 553 million monthly subscribers says that they might be, um, you're not interrupting those users. You are showing up exactly when they need you.
Oh,
And because of that, I think that leads quite nicely into your next question with asking that influence question. Does it influence buying behavior? And it does. The latest stat that I saw was actually compared to social media, it is 7 times more effective, more influential, and
wow.
along the purchasing journey than social platforms. And the reason is because the user is in discovery mode. They are looking for ideas. So if they find the right answer and they have money to that back that decision, they'll make that decision right there and then. Whereas and the ease of the click makes it so much easier, right?
Mm.
I mean, you know that with social platforms, it's often the links in the bio or comment X to get the link sent to your DM. It's such a disconnected
Mm.
process, and it's got its place. Don't get me wrong. Social media is a powerful tool, and it's just designed differently. So you need to be a lot more on, a lot more engaged. And while there are automations, there's still a lot for you to do manually. Whereas with Pinterest, if you have a link on a pin and it answers a specific question, and that client hits your landing page, your sales page for your course, and it answers everything that they were asking about, the chances of them buying is really high. So it's a prime space for coaches who offer digital products or transformation-based services, because if your funnel is set up right, you can guide them very naturally from pin to purchase.
Mm. I love that. I love that. I'm very excited about that. And I'm very excited about um, announcing that you will be doing a masterclass for us to show us how to actually dive deeper and how to implement this. And I'm so excited about that, Nadia. Tell us about this masterclass.
Yes, I must say I am also really, really looking forward to this free masterclass with you, Dina. Um, at the event, I will walk through all the coaches and content creators how to use Pinterest, AI, and automation in a way to streamline content creation. So, and to do that without losing your authenticity, without losing your voice. That is the key. So I'll be breaking down how to repurpose the content effectively, give you a sneak peek into the AI tools that I use to generate Pinterest optimized visuals and copy. And I'll talk about workflows that allow you to market consistently with less effort. It's a masterclass that's designed for you to take some action right up in the front, in the beginning, and it's ideal for those who are currently juggling the actual business, plus coaching, plus content creation. So it answers a lot of those questions.
So just when you heard said AI, of course, my concern is about AI, and I must say I've learned more and more about AI, so I'm not so adverse to it. But how will you ensure that authenticity? That it is authentically me? Because I've always categorically said I will never use AI to write for me. How how do we accommodate that?
It's a great question. And it's an important question. I'm glad you've asked it. The the best way that I can really put that in one sentence is to see AI as your assistant, not as your strategist. So don't let it think for you, let it work for you. To elaborate on that a bit is that together, you and I, the humans, we develop a strategy. We define your very clear tone of voice, and we even give it a few other touch points. So we tell it who you are, what you're about, and who you talk to. And we give it all of that information so that it can always pull that as a resource to create the content that it does throughout the engine. Now, the other important part is that you write the source material.
Okay.
It's your idea. Um, you can choose to have AI dictate as much as you want in terms of the topic. I would advise giving you the title because it'll be keyword rich. Give you the keywords, even give you an outline that is really market driven and answers the question. And then you write the content, it comes from you. We then take that long form content, whether it's a video or a blog post or a podcast episode, and we use that to repurpose. And with the click of a button, we then start, and a few other points, we then start generating copy for Pinterest, which means the titles, the descriptions. We even create the pins doing that. And my role then is to obviously facilitate all of this, double check that all the images and all the copy and everything are appropriate. And we then schedule everything for you so that you can just see everything once, give it a nice big tick, make a couple of changes, of course. We won't just let AI decide everything for us. But once it's all approved, it goes into the scheduling and you don't think about it again until next month when you write your blogs, letting your ideas flow and letting the marketing take care of itself.
I must say, I would love an assistant like that.
Wouldn't we all?
Yes. Nadia, this has been incredibly insightful. I've learned so much and I'm so excited for the masterclass. And just to tell everyone that, yes, I will put the link to register above the video. It will be part of our monthly Soul Purpose Author Community Networking Mastermind, where Nadia will come and teach us about Pinterest. Thank you so much, Nadia. This has been really wonderful.
Thank you as well. I've had such a good time.
I'll see you in the masterclass.
Oh, I cannot wait. And I hope to see you all there. Thank you so much.